Dan Barber, The Third Plate, Field Notes on the Future of Food. Ready to rethink your meals and their impact on the environment? In The Third Plate, Field Notes on the Future of Food, chef and author Dan Barber guides us on a journey towards a sustainable cuisine. The book explores how the foods we consume and the methods of agriculture, such as grain monocultures and industrial meat production, are harming our planet. Barber introduces a way to embrace a biodiverse and responsible approach to create delicious, nutrient-rich foods by outlining the need for complex systems that celebrate the harmonious coexistence of plants, animals, and ecosystems. Get ready to discover innovative chefs, fascinating ecosystems such as the Dehesa, and the role that seeds play in our food future.
Sustainable Eating for a Better World. The book highlights the environmental impacts of the Western diet and the need for a new, sustainable cuisine. Chefs play a crucial role in shaping food trends, and restaurants should focus on using a variety of foods rather than just meat and fish. Specifically, the author suggests a third plate cuisine that utilizes more diverse foods in order to sustain our ecosystems. The article emphasizes the importance of understanding the complexity of our environment and the interdependence between animals and plants. By changing our eating habits, we can help to reduce the strain on our planet's resources. The evolution of wheat production. Wheat has been a staple food in the United States for years. Initially, wheat was processed in grist mills, which produced wheat rich in minerals, protein and fatty acids, but the wheat only kept for about a week. However, the introduction of roller mills in the late 19th century led to the removal of the germ of the wheat, enabling the wheat to have a longer shelf life and be grown and milled far from where it was consumed. The Enlarged Homestead Act of 1909, which made it possible to obtain 320 acres of free land in the new Western Territories, led to record-high wheat yields. Today, wheat is one of the most consumed foods in the United States, with the average American consuming 130 pounds of it per year. Grain is now the United States' most important agricultural product, having a significant impact on the environment. Traditional farming techniques. The use of monoculture in modern agriculture has devastating effects on the soil by draining its nutrients. Native Americans used the Three Sisters technique, combining corn, beans, and squash, to replenish the earth's nutrients. This method allows beans to bind nitrogen, which is ideal for corn, while squash helps bind carbon and gives the plant roots shade to keep water in the soil. Modern agriculture and the Three Sisters method both have downsides. Mechanizing the harvesting process can prove challenging for the latter. During the Dust Bowl, hard wheat, which is more susceptible to drought, was the preferred crop of choice. Techniques meant for bomb production during the war were used to create fertilizers, which revitalized the soil but came with a trade-off, harming rivers with chemical fertilizer residue. Nutrient-rich soil for healthier food. The food we eat is only as good as the soil it grows in, and industrial monocultures are producing nutrient-deficient crops. Agronomist William Albrecht's review of World War II records highlighted the correlation between healthy soil and overall health. Over the past 50 to 70 years, up to 40% of nutrients have been lost in biomass dilution, leading to possible links between the lack of micronutrients and high obesity rates. Growing food in nutrient-rich soil not only benefits human health but also results in better-tasting produce. Plants absorb micronutrients in a similar process to making coffee, where slow drips yield a richer end product. Bad soil equals bad food, so it's essential to transition to healthier soil to improve our overall health. The industrialized meat production. The American broiler chicken is a prime example of how meat production became industrialized. The Purdue Chicken Company used specialized breeds and cheap grain feed to reduce the time it took to rear chickens for slaughter. This same process was applied to all meat production. The trend towards selling chicken in smaller pieces was driven by low-calorie health trends in the 1980s and 1990s. As a result, we now eat less of the chicken even though we produce 37 billion tons of it in the United States per year. The parts we don't eat are turned into fertilizers and dog food, among other things. The story of the farmed chicken provides insight into the issue of wasteful farming and leaves us to question what alternatives exist. The complex ecosystem of Dehesa. The Dehesa in Spain is much more than just land. It is a biodiverse place where the world's best ham, Jamón Ibérico de Bellota, comes from. The Iberian pigs feed on acorns, which gives the ham its signature nutty flavor. The Dehesa also produces two of the world's finest cheeses, Torta del Casar and La Serena, and fatty goose liver. The complexity of the Dehesa ecosystem makes these products a result of the whole land. Unsustainable fishing and monocultural grain farming. Industrialized farming has already caused irreparable damage to our land, and now it risks doing the same to our oceans. Overfishing has led to 85% of the world's fish being endangered. Wartime technology has been used to increase fishing yields, along with the practice of bottom trawling that hauls out unwanted fish and fish that are too small to use. Furthermore, eating fish high up in the food chain intensifies the problem of overfishing. On the other hand, some people like the Spanish chef Ángel León have come up with a sustainable approach to fish consumption, using small fish and fish that are usually discarded. Similarly, monocultural grain farming affects our waters as the chemical fertilizers used in farming make it impossible for plankton and other sea life to survive. An example of this can be seen at the mouth of the Mississippi River, where an 80,000 square mile dead zone lies off the Gulf of Mexico. The conundrum of fish farming. Fish farming is growing at an annual rate of 8.8% to match the global rise in fish consumption. However, it poses environmental problems, affecting the shoreline ecosystem and biodiversity. To farm fish, 3 to 5 pounds of wild fish are required for every pound of farmed fish produced. The solution could be farming fish similarly to the Vida La Palma Canal fish farm in Spain, where estuary water and phytoplankton create a better breeding ground for shrimp and high-quality natural-tasting fish, all while functioning as a filter for over-fertilized water. The complex system of Vida La Palma offers a better environment for healthier and tastier food production. Seeds for the future. The book's summary explores how seeds are critical to our food future and how learning from the past helps us move forward. It discusses the proliferation of hybrid plants and their impact on monocultures. The summary highlights the success of Norman Borlaug's dwarf wheat hybrid and its side effects. It suggests that to ensure a healthier future, we need to move away from monocultures and collect our own seeds to create diverse cuisines. Sustainable cuisine. Sustainable cuisine involves using a rotation risotto dish made with different grains to replenish soil, adding a puree of brassicas for nitrogen, and using the blood-to-bone method for meat dishes. Monocultures have a negative impact on the environment, health, and cuisine, and its mitigation is essential. The author suggests using a rotation risotto dish can help improve soil quality. The dish can consist of different grains that replenish the soil with carbon, suppress weeds, cleanse the soil of toxins and provide nitrogen. Using brassicas such as kale and broccoli can add extra nitrogen and give a perfect consistency to the dish. The blood-to-bone method is suggested as an efficient way to use the whole animal. The author introduced the Ossabaw pig breed that brought new flavors and textures to the dish. Grilled meat, pig bones used for charcoal, and the blood for blood sausage completes the dish, leaving nothing to waste.
As Dan Barber's The Third Plate concludes, the need for a sustainable cuisine is evident. It's time to adopt an approach that promotes the balance and health of our ecosystem. Chefs like Angel Leon show that sustainable practices, such as using smaller fish and discards, can create delicious culinary experiences while reducing the strain on natural resources. By recognizing that our actions have consequences and learning from complex ecosystems, we can build a better way forward for our health, our environment, and the food we eat. So let's move towards understanding the soil beneath our feet, the seeds in our hands, the animals we depend on, and the diverse systems that can nourish us and the earth.